Hey Aries, what's up? Where I'm seeing us start within the energy is looking like you holding yourself back from something that you may actually want to go in the direction of, but the reason why this can be is that maybe you're waiting until the right time to do this. Maybe you also need information, or you're wanting to evaluate whether this is a good idea or not. I'm definitely seeing the interest be there. It just feels like a matter of are you gonna let yourself do it? Do you feel like it's a good idea? Are you holding yourself back for some reason from pursuing this thing that you want to pursue? So yeah, there can be something mentally where you have to figure out that part, but it feels overall like something that you do feel connected with. Can be thinking a lot about what's worth it to you. Thinking about what you so readily give your energy to, how that feels for you, kind of also what that entails for you, what you get from being involved in this particular situation. This is reminding me a little bit of the Virgo reading that I just did. Okay. I'm seeing that you have the opportunity to, it looks like begin a new chapter with someone. But something happened recently that may have made you, could have sworn off maybe connecting with something like this, possibly because of something that happened recently, but it can be something that you want. And I'm seeing a Six of Pentacles be involved with it, so this can also be the type of thing that you're actually looking for as well. So not only is the interest there with the Knight of Wands, the opportunity is there with the Ace of Cups, and the compatibility is there with the Six of Pentacles. I think the only thing that would hold you back is you may have responded quickly to a situation, or you may have followed your heart or followed your instinct recently and had something happen that could have been an extremely unpleasant experience. But this can also be a time too where you feel like in order for you to secure what you want and participate with what it is that you want, you're gonna have to kind of like get over that hurdle of what this was that happened. So this can be a bit of a like psychological barrier that you're working with here, where you have to kind of like get over the hump of this in order to connect with what you want, and that is possible for you. And there's a need to like see what's available to you now, which I am seeing something that's coming through, and it feels like it's actually aligned with what you want here. Like that part of you that's looking for a deeper connection, this is available to you. For some of you, you can be offering this to another person. See the way this is coming through? At first I was thinking that the King of Cups was you, but now that I'm looking at this, there can be somebody that, so the hand is coming from this way. This is the Emperor, so like technically this is an Aries energy, or you could be dealing with another person with Aries placements. This Emperor is offering the Ace of Cups to this King of Cups over here. What this can mean is that you can have the option of starting a chapter that would be like somewhat serious within your life. You can also be looking at another person and feeling like this person is showing up with you, and you may want to kind of like return the favor with them. Something happened though that went... Something happened recently that went in a way that could have hurt, and so I think opening back up after going through something like that, it has to be a deliberate choice to do that, because your ego and maybe like the leftover pain that you're feeling can be like, no, stay shut down here. So I think that it's like, are you bouncing back? Are you open? Are you ready for this? Do you need more time? Is this something that you want to go for now? What are you thinking about that? It feels like it's something that checks out. I see there being a desire for this. I just also see something else going on that you can be like, well, that thing that happened, it's still affecting me. And so maybe you feel like you're not 100% there with this, but you may be most of the percent there with this. I see you working on your peace right now, and really devoting yourself to your craft and the things that are most important to you right now, like all the stuff that you care about most of all. That's where a lot of your energy is going. But there can be an area of your life that's been a little bit more quiet lately, maybe because you needed some time. But now that this is happening, you can look at this and feel like it's a good opportunity, and maybe it's something that could kind of support what it is that you're trying to do for your life right now. I see this side of you that was kind of out and about before, that you may have put the brakes on a little bit. But now something is coming around that I think is waking you back up again. So there can be a part of you that's like, I don't want to hold myself back, but I am going to have to be serious. And maybe there's a need for you to channel this energy in a way where it can be consistent. That can be something. Because I saw something happened, and it looks like you may have slammed the brakes, or maybe the brakes got slammed on you. And in that time, you can have been like thinking about what was going on in that cycle. But now that you're opening up this new chapter, this can be something that maybe you want to kind of like transition your focus over a little bit. I think it's a matter of like, do I really feel like I'm ready for this? Because I'm seeing you thinking about a lot and like what's going on in your world of feeling. And I'm seeing you be serious about a lot of the major investments that you have going on right now, and that being where a lot of your energy is being put. This can also be like, I'm putting a lot of focus on maintaining my responsibilities and the stuff that may at times be like a little bit less pleasurable, but that's kind of the business of life right now. But there can be something that you're kind of wanting to connect with more on an emotional level, and now that you have the opportunity to do that, it can be something that you're possibly considering. But I do get this opportunity feeling like it's something that would support your peace. I'm not seeing this be something that would feel disruptive to you or go against what it is that you're trying to do for yourself. And maybe that's something that you're spending some time assessing here. I feel too like there could have been somebody that you were involved with that maybe you were getting some inconsistencies with this person, but it was something that you were doing more impulsively, that you can be like, okay, I have to stop doing this, even though it's like a little bit of a guilty pleasure situation, because it's not cultivating in a bigger sense or like a larger sense what it is that I want. And I want those things more now. And so I have to kind of shift over. It can be like who I'm connecting with, what I'm doing, how I'm channeling my energy. So now because of that, I see an opportunity that looks more in line with what it is that you're looking for. But you can also still be like, well, I'm still coming off of that old situation. So I don't know if I'm fully ready to embrace this, even though the opportunity is there and the door is wide open. But it can be something that, I don't know, I see you looking excited about this and knowing that it's there. I think it's just a matter of, are you willing to pick yourself up and go for this? How trusting are you of your instinct and that this is the right call for you to be making? Because I do see some things that you may have been pulling back your energy from and pausing or suspending. And now can be the time when you reinstate that energy and you start participating again. But I do see something about you having been on like a little bit of a break. I think what's been going on too has been giving you a sense of direction, but maybe in a way where it's like, okay, that was a hard thing to experience, but it did tell me stuff about myself that I'm glad that I know now. And maybe you can be seeing certain doors that are open to you a little bit differently now than you had been seeing them before, because you're more clear on what you want. So it can give you some more like perspective, and I think able to discern what's right for you and what may also not really be what you're looking for in the bigger sense. Yeah. I think that there were some things that you were doing that you may have like not been checking yourself a little bit. I'm getting confirmation of this. There could have been some stuff that you were doing where you weren't checking yourself a little bit, or where you were, there's this element of energy, okay, that you have, and you get to choose the way that you channel it. And this is a very like a firecracker part of your energy. Before, the way that you were using this may have been something where you're kind of reforming the way that that is being channeled now. So it feels like tightening the reins a little bit on yourself and how you're channeling that energy and being like, I want to direct this very deliberately. And I'm seeing that be something that's been happening, because it looks like you have these very particular goals in mind. And this can also be like, I feel like I was wasting my energy, or it was being pushed out more sporadically, but that it wasn't working towards like a bigger goal, and now that's what I want to use this for. So yeah, I think that covers that. You could have been feeling like the stuff that you were doing, it wasn't building out to what you wanted it to build out to, but maybe you weren't even aware that that's what you wanted to do before. Now you can be like, no, I really want to build this now, and I'm going to have to like allot that energy that I was using for that over here, so I can like get this built up in the way that I want to, and that's going to be more worthwhile to me. And you can also feel like you're working on behalf of your intuition now, maybe in a way that you weren't totally working with before. And that this is helping you accomplish what you want to accomplish. Yeah, before maybe I wonder if you were like moving around in circles a little bit. And you could have looked at something and been like, if I channel my energy differently here, I can actually progress in a way that I've been wanting to. And so, yeah, I feel like there's some important like puzzle piece. But I think that it came in a way that may have not been like maybe the nicest experience, is the way that it looks. And it can be still something that you're carrying with you a bit here, which maybe you're going to let go of a little bit. Maybe you're thinking about that. This could be somewhere where you weren't like taking responsibility for your life in some way, or where you weren't maybe doing something that you feel like you should have been doing. Like maybe there was something going on where you're like, I was being really irresponsible, or even if it's not something like as severe as that. And I think this has to do with like your own standard for yourself. This doesn't feel like it's coming from like any sort of like outer judgment. I think this is more so about like what you expect of yourself and kind of like where you want to be in life. And if this is like on a smaller scale, it can be like, I wasn't using this like resource that I have of myself in a way that was helping me progress in a way that I want to. And now that I'm seeing that clearly, I'm going to make changes. But it was maybe something like difficult that you didn't want to do before, that you could have, or something maybe that you felt uncomfortable with, or maybe like something that you wanted to take on that you just weren't taking on like for some reason. And you had to work with that part of yourself and be like, why do I keep doing this to myself? You know, it could have been some area of your life where you're like, I feel like maybe I'm self-sabotaging a little bit here, or I'm just not paying close enough attention, and then it's cultivating maybe a lack of result that I want. You can still be deciding on something that you haven't decided on. Or maybe this was just putting off something that you wanted. But I don't know, 10 of Cups is going in, or 9 of Cups is going in with 2 of Swords. There may be something that you want for yourself and that you want for your life, and you may be... Are you not telling yourself that this is something that you want? Or are you telling yourself that you don't know? Maybe you feel like there's a between your heart and your mind here, you being like, well, which one is it? That can be something that's going on a little bit, but I think that your heart is going to be the thing that wins. And yeah, I see something coming up in the environment that you may have instinctively wanted, but then there could have been my head is saying this, I feel like my head is saying this, and I feel like my heart is saying this, and something that had to be or is being worked out in that arena for you. and whether you're going to honor that or not. Because this can even be like, my intuition is telling me this, but my shadow is telling me this. Which one am I going to go for? But it could have been something where you were like, well, which voice is which? Can feel like that a little bit. If you take on this new cycle, it does feel like a bit of a portal that's opening here at this point, and you have the option of going through it. Something that I'm seeing be connected with the advice. Yeah, some of you may have been taking space from someone, like taking a break from a relationship, something like that. What I'm seeing be the advice is for you to connect with the Aries first house energy, which is going to be about, before I am considering anybody else, before I'm thinking about collaborating with anybody else, before I am internalizing what anybody else wants, what they want with me, how they want me to show up, what do I want for myself? What is the blueprint? Before I am influenced by any outer energy, you have to connect with that. And that is going to give you the way here. That is the advice for what to connect with. And that's going to give you the answer that you need. And then it seems like you're going to like know how to move forward at that point. But there may be something going on where that's not how you've been doing things, and you may have gotten confused within the energy. Maybe you were also sharing energy with another person, being influenced by another person, and that may have not really been what you wanted. Because, you know, the energy of Aries, it's so close to Pisces. And in for those of you that you follow Western astrology, in Vedic astrology, like many of you, if you have, unless you have like really late degree Aries placements, you do have Pisces placements in Vedic astrology. And the energy of Pisces is about merging, and it can be not knowing the difference sometimes. Like some of you can also just like even have Pisces placements in Western astrology. The thing about that energy is that sometimes we don't know the difference between like us and other people because we want to merge so much, and then we kind of lose ourselves, and then it's like, what do I want? What is my story about? And your story becomes about things that don't even feel like, it's like playing out storylines that you don't want to be playing out. And then you like lose touch with what it is that you want. And then you're like, what am I even doing here? Because I feel like I'm off track. So this is about touching base with yourself and asking yourself what you want and checking in with yourself. Because I think in order to be able to show up in your energy where you are whole, you have to know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself and you're showing up to work with another person, it's gonna become all about that other person and what they want, because you don't know where you are within the energy. You're lost at sea. That's why Aries is the first house. Like, how are you going to show up in a relationship with another person, or how are you going to show up authentically within your choices, consciously within your choices, where you're consciously manifesting, if you don't understand yourself, if you don't know yourself, if you don't know what you want, if you're out of touch with yourself and out of touch with your instinct? So it's about needing to be clear with you first before you be connecting and making choices with other people and collaborating with other people. And that doesn't mean that like compromise isn't important, because it can be, but when you know where you fall, you'll know how much you can bend without betraying yourself. And it feels really important to that is what you're clear on here. Because yeah, maybe something was going on too where you could have been like following along with something and then felt like something was off, and you're like, what's really going on here? And it can be because you've been like out of touch. you may have been following direction, but it wasn't your own direction. It could have been somebody else's direction. Or like somebody else's influence or something else's influence. So yeah, what do you want? What works for you? What's right for you? Because I see something that you want to be doing and somewhere that you want to be putting your energy, but you may have been shying away from that. Not because it's not what you wanted, but because you could have been avoiding. Like maybe there's some vulnerability that's required here, and it could have been something that you were running away from a bit. Or maybe there's some like self-trust that's needed here that you could have been shying away from a bit. Having the Eight of Swords on the bottom of the deck can be when you feel like really twisted up within your mind, where you have to wring out the influence of other people and other things and fear and the stuff that we repress, just so you can get that clarity. Because the clarity is always there. We just have to uncover it. So it's about that for you. All right. We're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.